Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Justin. How are you today, Emma?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited because today we're talking about something we all use every day, social media.
Yes, social media is everywhere, and it has its good and bad sides. Today we'll talk about both in simple, easy English.
And we'll teach you useful words and phrases so you can talk about social media confidently. Let's start with a short conversation. Listen carefully.
Hey, Tom, do you use social media a lot?
Yeah, I do. I check Instagram and Facebook every day. It's fun, but sometimes I feel like I spend too much time on it.
Same here. I love seeing what my friends are up to, but it can be a big distraction.
True. And sometimes I see posts that make me feel like my life isn't as exciting as everyone else's.
I get that. But social media isn't all bad. I've learned so many new things from it, like recipes and travel tips.
That's a good point. I also follow news pages to stay updated.
Me too. And I joined a group where people share study tips. It's really helpful.
That sounds great. But do you ever feel overwhelmed by all the notifications?
Yes. Sometimes I need a social media break to relax.
That was a great conversation. Now, Justin will explain some useful words and phrases.
Let's start with check social media. This means to look at social media apps like Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. Example: I check Instagram every morning. This means I open the app and look at posts.
Justin, do you check social media every morning?
Sometimes, but I try not to do it too much. Next, we have spend too much time. This means using a lot of time doing something. Example: I spend too much time on TikTok. This means I use TikTok for a long time, maybe more than I should.
That sounds like me. Do you ever feel like you spend too much time online?
Yes, especially when I start watching videos and lose track of time. Now let's talk about the word distraction. A distraction is something that stops you from focusing on your work or tasks. Example: social media is a big distraction when I'm trying to study. This means I can't focus on studying because I keep checking my phone.
Oh, I understand. I always get distracted when I hear my phone beep.
Same here. That's why I turn off notifications when I need to focus. The next phrase is feel like. That means to have a thought or emotion about something. Example: I feel like my life isn't as exciting as others. This means when I see other people's posts, I think their lives look more fun than mine.
I think many people feel that way after looking at social media.
Another useful phrase is stay updated. This means to know the latest news or information. Example: I follow news pages to stay updated. This means I use social media to read the latest news.
That's a good way to use social media. Do you follow news pages, Justin?
Yes, it helps me know what's happening in the world. Now let's learn the word recipe. A recipe is a set of instructions for cooking a dish. Example: I found a great recipe for chocolate cake on Instagram. This means I saw step-by-step instructions to make a chocolate cake.
I love looking at food recipes online.
Me too. But sometimes I just watch food videos and never cook anything. Now let's learn the word overwhelmed. This means feeling like there is too much happening at once. Example: I feel overwhelmed by all the notifications. This means too many messages or alerts make me feel stressed. Lastly, we have social media break. This means taking time away from social media to relax. Example: sometimes I need a social media break. This means I stop using social media for a while to feel better.
Do you take social media breaks, Justin?
Yes, it helps me focus on other things.
Now, let's talk about the pros and cons of social media. First, what do pros and cons mean? Pros are the good things or advantages of something. Example: One pro of social media is that it helps you stay connected with friends. Cons are the bad things or disadvantages of something. Example, one con of social media is that it can be distracting. So, when we say pros and cons of social media, we mean the positive and negative effects of using it. Let's start with the pros, the good things. Pros, good things about social media. 1. Stay connected with friends and family. One of the best things about social media is that it helps us stay connected with friends and family no matter where they are. Example, I can talk to my cousin in another country every day. This means that even though my cousin lives far away, I can send messages, call, or video chat with them anytime. 2. Learn new things. Social media is also a great place to learn new things. Example, I follow pages that teach me about science and history. This means I use social media to learn interesting facts every day. Some people follow accounts that teach new languages, fun facts, or even life skills. 3. Find new recipes. Another great thing about social media is that you can find new recipes. A recipe is a set of instructions for cooking a dish. Example, I found an easy pasta recipe on Facebook. This means I saw step-by-step instructions on how to make pasta. Many people share cooking videos online, making it easy to try new foods. 4. Stay updated with news and trends. Social media also helps people stay updated with the latest news and trends. Example, I read the news on Twitter to stay updated. This means I use social media to see what's happening in the world. People also follow trends in fashion, technology, or entertainment through social media. Cons, bad things about social media. Now, let's talk about the cons, the bad side of social media. 1. It can be distracting. One big con is that social media can be a distraction. A distraction is something that stops you from focusing on your work or tasks. Example, I spend hours scrolling instead of doing my work. This means I should be working, but I keep looking at social media instead. 2. It can make you compare yourself to others. Another con is that social media can make people compare themselves to others. Example, I feel like my life isn't as exciting as others. This means when I see fun posts from other people, I think my life isn't as interesting. But we have to remember, people only post the best parts of their lives. 3. Too many notifications can feel overwhelming. Social media can also be overwhelming when there are too many notifications. To feel overwhelmed means to feel like there is too much happening at once. Example, I turned off notifications because I felt overwhelmed. This means I was getting too many messages and it was stressful, so I turned them off. 4. It can waste time. The last con is that social media can waste time if we use it too much. Example, I spend too much time watching videos. This means I use social media for too long instead of doing important things. It's fun, but we have to use it wisely.
That's it for today's lesson. Remember, social media can be both good and bad. It's all about how you use it.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more lessons and resources.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.